This is really good when it'll stop anywhere. Perfectly balanced. I use this magnetic balancer with a gap right there. If you put them together, slide it together so they're touching on these rods down here. Way too much drag. Both magnets touching, it stops too fast. Get this gap right here, way more sensitive. This is the stock prop for the ProBoat UL19 stainless steel. This is the one I ran 74.7 miles an hour with. Done a lot of work to it. I'm messing around with it because I'm always messing around with props. These are the same prop, 17, 16, 17 degree rake, 45 blade area ratio. But I think if you keep messing with props, you'll always be learning. And I noticed something on this Dasbota prop. I was looking at how much cupping he has in his prop, and I noticed this. Not only is there more cupping than I had on that stainless prop going this way, coming off the back of the blade. Catch it in the light right. He has some cupping up in here. And I got to thinking, okay, it's got more cupping coming off the back of the blade, but he's also holding the water from swinging off as it's turning with this cupping here. See it clearly on both blades where he has maybe added some cupping here, but he's also hollowed this out in this area here, which is leaving cupping. It's none right here. Started right in through here where he's hollowed that out, made some cupping there. So just looking for some secrets, things to do to my props to tweak them, see if you can get more out of them. Also, I thought I would show what I use to work my props, the tools. So I have flat files. That's for when you start on a prop, roughing down material for the basic balancing, which I do on the outside of the prop. Flat files. And then I have a triangle file, small jeweler's file, and a round file. And that is for, I use a small file to take out the large file marks, the deeper file marks from these flat files. So this is more aggressive than sandpaper. So I'll file that to take out the file marks. And I'll use the round one to get in next to the hub. You can actually get in there on both sides with this, like with this tapered tip. Get up in here, just remove any, on this side you'd be removing the casting marks down through here. So you can, with this being a tapered round file, you can pretty much file anywhere on the inside of this blade. Depends how you position it, and alongside the hub on both sides. from the flat triangle file, then I'll move on to sandpaper and Scotch-Brite to polish my props. That's as far as I go. This is like, I don't know, probably 220 sandpaper and then Scotch-Brite. And lastly, I have a stone. I stone the edges of the prop. So on this stock Pro Boat prop, the 1716 stainless prop, being it's stainless and stronger, I really thin the blade out. All the way across the blade, I've thinned it quite a bit. So I know there's an airfoil, which gives some lift. I think that would work more on a airplane prop, having more blade area. With the size of the blade area on these props, I think more of the work is being done on the backside. It's biting through the water. It's a surface running prop, so you only have one blade in the water. And so I'm just reducing the thickness to free up some more RPMs for the same prop, same pitch and diameter prop. So my thought on this prop to do more to improve the performance of the prop was to get more cupping. So that would be this cupping coming off the back. I'm not sure what he's using to get right along that edge. You take that, when you touch that material, it's gone. You can't bend this, I don't believe. Right? So he's doing it by removing material very carefully in here. I tried it and I got out into here, so I knocked off that area on this prop. So I have no cupping up through here. But what I did was I did some grinding in here. I didn't do anything to add cupping by bending this. I've heard some guys will put it on a ball bearing and tap on it. Some guys have pliers that are ground to this shape and they'll bend that for more cupping. Since I thinned this so much already, I just thought I'll take material out in here to add cupping. That's what I've done to it. So you can see there's quite a bit more cupping. I did that with my Dremel tool and some stone wheels like this. Starting with this one. I used this one with the Dremel tool up and down through here. And then I use the smaller one as I get up near the tip. And I just couldn't get that cupping in there. I had to lay it down so this, as it's spinning, can do its work. If you just put the tip down like this, it just rubs on the stainless. It doesn't remove material very effectively. Here is the ABC H7 prop. It's a 1.87 by 1.52 pitch. The guys that run laps swear by this prop. Has a lot of tongue, which is good for coming off the corners, accelerating off the corners at your slower speeds. But if you look at this prop, it has a lot of cupping starting way back here, all the way up this edge of the blade and in here. I didn't do that. That was in the casting. And the way I would describe this prop, see it that way too, is it's a great handling prop as far as driving. It holds a lot of water behind the prop and it just feels nice. It steers nice, takes corners really nice. It's not a speed prop, it's a lap prop. So props can affect handling on a boat in different ways. Here's an 1817 ABC prop. This is in their Cleaver series, which we most commonly use for saw runs. Has cupping on the trailing edge, but clearly they're not designing cupping in the casting in this last third of their leading edge. I think Chris Hoffman knows something when he's hollowing this out, adding cupping up in here. I think what that does for a given rake angle, he's holding more water behind the prop by doing that. So my initial balancing is thinning. You'll usually find the heavier blade is thicker, so thinning the back side of the blade with the flat files. It's my initial balance. I'll use this clay here to make sure that I have the same blade area, make an imprint of one, compare the other to it. It's all part of the initial balancing. And then with the flat file, I'll thin down the leading edge or just give it a softer leading edge so it doesn't get thick so quick. So I'll flatten that down a little bit to leading edge. The whole time checking for balance, doing it the same to both blades. But then I do my polishing, and then I do a final sharpening with the stone. And for my final balance, I am doing it by looking at the rake angle, and I'm looking at how far below the hub each side is. And so I will file the back side of the blade, both sides, and final tweak my balance that way. You want that back side flat, and you want sharp corners both sides so the water comes off there clean. And the last thing I do then, because it'll be, when you file across here, it'll be a bit of a ragged edge, then I'll just run a stone down both sides lightly. Still have a nice sharp corner there, but it's not a ragged edge. So that's my final balance. I take material off the back side of the blades to square them up and also get that final balance. Here's something you might want to build if you're going to work props. I don't know what you call it. Prop vise. It's simply a 1x1 block of oak with a 3/16 rod. If you drop this down on here, put one tip against the oak. You want oak or some kind of hardwood that will just set on there, and you can put this flat on the table, and that will support your prop. You can get pretty aggressive filing on this. This really is not a prop prepping how-to video, just sharing what I'm doing with my props to get the results that I'm getting, showing the tools that I use to get props prepped to look like this. And I think, like anything else, there's a learning curve. Try it, give it a go, get out and test them, see what you can do to prep a prop and get some better speeds. It's kind of a pretty fun, rewarding part of running fast boats. Learn how to prep your props. I keep my prep props in plastic bags, and I vibratch the diameter and pitch on them. It's a 1914 prop. And then I keep the original card that was on the package. Make a few notes too, what I've done with them props. But 1914, and then the rest of the numbers are right here on the prop. So that 1914 prop, I ran some nice laps with the 33. And here's just a few of the props that I have and that I've prepped. If you're going to be chasing speed, you'll end up with a bunch of props. 1817, 1819, it's the 1914, 1917. So you're always playing around with different diameters and pitches, and also the rake angles. And then, yeah, keep playing around with prepping props. See what you can get out of them. It's the game. It's in the props. Big part of it.